Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another live stream. Back to another live stream. Back
100 times?
to another live stream.
200 times?
Back,
500 times?
Probably. Who is Jose Arteaga?
Jose Arteaga is a YouTube content creator with several channels focusing on different themes.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live! Thing sucks!
His main channels include travel vlogs and lifestyle content. On his travel channel, Jose Arteaga Travels.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
Additionally, he runs a cooking channel and engages in other personal projects that highlight his diverse interests and expertise. Projects and expertise. Projects and expertise. Project, 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 expertise,
I am officially running for President of the United States. We need a leader. I will be the greatest jobs president that God ever created. It can be wonderful if you have smart people, but we have people that are stupid. The American dream is dead, 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 dead. But if I get elected president, I will bring it back bigger and better and stronger than ever before. The American dream. And we will make America great again.
That's right. That's right. Team America.
We will make America great again. And we will make
America great again. Anyways, all right. What's up, guys? How's it going? And welcome back. Oh no, what did I do here? What the? What the? Hold on a second. Anyways, welcome back there. You know, shout out to everyone out there. Let me see. Hold on a second. What did I do? What did it? Hold on a second. Why is that? Hold on. Why is that? That's weird. There we go. Okay, we're back. All right, we're back. I think. Are we back? All right, we're back. She's. Bruh. All right, so you see, the government's already infiltrated. They're already not happy, you know, with today's live stream. Apparently, you know, they don't want to hear it. You know, apparently they're probably going to be upset, you know, with things I have to say here. So, hey, it is what it is. You know, we're going to have to deal with it. I'm proud to be an American, no matter what the situation is. And, you know, the reality is that, you know, that's why I live out here. You know, I live out here as a proud American. You know, a lot of people ask me, you know, hey, Jose, why do you live in a foreign country? Why do you live in in Mexico of all places. You know, isn't it dangerous out there? Aren't you scared? And I'm like, no, I'm not. It's actually more dangerous. I'm in the USA. I'm actually more scared of my own government. And I don't want to say that. I don't want to feel that way. Maybe it's just my over paranoia, from all the hardship I've had to deal with. Maybe, some of it has to do with, hold on, how do we get this? I guess I'll just leave it like that. Anyways, maybe a lot of it has to do with the fact that, long story short, you know what I mean? My parents, they are, Cuban immigrants. They left a communist country and they came to the USA looking for freedom, looking for a better way of life. And they got it. I mean, I think I was raised, in a great way, as best as possible as my parents could do as immigrants. But yeah, long story short, as the years went on, I realized, hey, wait a minute, this is not the same as the same country my parents grew up in. This is not um, the country I wanted, was promised, not the one that I want to live in. And I never had the balls to really leave the USA. And it took a lot of things for me, to eventually get my way, get my ass out of there. But long story short, I felt that even while I was living in the USA, like it had already, kicked me in the balls, it kicked me in the ass, to the point, where, yeah, you know what I mean? Like it just didn't care for me. I was so shocked that my own country didn't care for me. I can't imagine how, American soldiers feel and stuff like that. And, for to me, it's like a bittersweet, kind of thing because I am proud to be an American. I want to celebrate the 4th of July. I am going to celebrate it this weekend with my friends out here, my other American friends that feel the same way as I do, which is why we live here. But to us, it's like bittersweet because the ideals of what America stands for, stood for, what they represent, those ideals, those are the ideals that we are still, very, proud of. And, we still hold dear. And, we're trying to, remember and celebrate that. And the fact is that just because we can't feel that way in the USA, we can't feel that way in our own country anymore. Well, then, of course, you know what I mean? Then we're going to celebrate it elsewhere where we can get it. There's why a lot of Americans, especially those that are, former military ex-soldiers, a lot of you guys, a lot of those guys, they end up moving abroad. They end up coming back to the USA. They cannot handle life in the USA. They don't even recognize life in the USA anymore compared to the things that they've seen and experienced. And they end up going bamboo or becoming an expat, an expatriate. And they move to another country. They move somewhere else. They move to Asia. They move to Latin America. They move elsewhere. I myself was never a soldier. But I ended up finding myself out here, living out here in another country. So, the reality is that, even though I'm out here and, I'm happy to be, and again, I'm Cuban American. I was born in the USA and I'm proud to be an American and all that stuff. I'm also very proud to be Mexican. I'm not a Mexican citizen yet, but I plan on becoming a Mexican citizen and, proud and happy to become a Mexican citizen just because of what it represents, in the sense of like, when I left my own country, and I thought that I didn't have was it a piss to shit in or something, or was a pot to shit in or pot to piss in? I thought I didn't have anything. Mexico saved me, and Mexico basically did for me what the U.S. did for my parents when they came from communist Cuba. And, in my twisted world or mind or whatever, I felt like I was leaving a tyrannical country, tyrannical government, that was already, they're still in the early stages, but still, late enough where it's causing concern. And the reality is that, like, yeah, I did not want to be around for that. I did not want to be around for the downfall of that. I learned from my family. I had a lot of family members, that left Cuba, before communism took over. The ones that left when communism took over, and the ones that had to endure communism, like my mom, for over a decade, and my dad over a decade. You know, my dad was a political prisoner. He went to jail just because he didn't agree with communism. And my mom also did not agree with communism, and she wanted to leave the USA, so they made her work in a work camp. All right, until she was released to a family that was in the U.S. waiting for her. So, long story short, you know, when they both got to the USA, sure, they came in the early '80s when it was having its problems, right? But to them, as immigrants coming from, you know, communism, and in their lifetimes, when they were young, Cuba was a country just like the USA. You know, it had everything. You know, it was. I mean, just look at the movies. You can look at movies like The Godfather and so many other movies out there that, you know, they show you what Cuba looked like before communism, and it was America's playground. You know, when communism took over Cuba, that's when Las Vegas was created, because those same business owners had to move. They couldn't be in communist Cuba anymore. But I digress. So my parents grew up, you know, basically like how we all grew up in the USA. And overnight, they basically lost it all. And depending on who it was in the family, depending on how they lost it. So as I was starting to see the cracks in the USA myself, you know what I mean? Whether or not it does happen, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. You know, it might not be communism, but something's coming. To me, it started to cause concern. Maybe nothing happens. You know, maybe we turn it around. I hope we do. You know, that's the whole idea behind the USA, right? Why so many people keep moving to the USA and flocking to the USA. I don't think any of these immigrants, all 11 million of them, or how many million just came into the USA, I don't think any of them. In fact, I would argue that none of them would want communism or want, you know, any kind of thing that resembles the shithole country they came from. Okay, yeah, a lot of them are shithole countries. Okay, it is what it is. All right, don't get me. The USA is a partially shithole country at the moment. It used to not be, but hey, I call it what it is. But long story short, a lot of these immigrants, they do come from really, really bad situations. So, you know, with that said, it's a major upgrade. Like, again, think about it. You know, you're coming from communist Cuba. You know, in the 80s, people were suffering, right? In the USA, you know, anyone coming from Cuba was doing great. You know what I mean? They were like, oh, this is awesome. Sure, we got to work hard to get the American dream, but we got it. And I know things have changed a lot since the 80s, and I know things are not the same these days, but that's not the point. The point is that sometimes it's just the fact that you have more freedom than when you came from. So, as an American that has grown up and lived in the USA his whole life, same as a lot of you guys out there, well, you guys have seen your rights deteriorate. You know, they've gone downhill. You've lost more and more rights. And, you know, for an immigrant that's just coming into the country right now, they don't see any of that. They just see the country as soon as they come in. And if they're leaving a really, really horrible situation in another country, they come to the USA, and to them, it's still the land of the free. It's still the best country in the world. It's still, you know, amazing. Even though someone like you or me might know better. We know that, you know, the USA, you know, it used to be a great country, and we are not making it great again. You know, and you know, things are going downhill very quickly, and we were not building back better, and you know, things are just not going good. Things are going very bad, and so that's why a lot of you guys even watch me on my other channel, because, you know, again, you guys are looking for hope, looking for, you know, what is it, like knowledge on how to get the hell out. You know what I mean? Trying to figure out how to survive abroad. At the end of the day, I'll say it over and over again. I'm an American. I'm a proud American. I cannot and will not, you know, renounce my citizenship. You know what I mean? I'm just, it is what it is. You know, it's like family. You know, you cannot get rid of them. It's just you got to deal with it. So in my case, you know, I got my own family issues. You know, I love them, but hey, you know, also I love them at a distance. And the same thing goes with my country. I love my country. I love it at a distance. You know, as long as I get to be an American citizen, you know, abroad, you know, just as I always have been, you know, meaning, you know, the right to have to do that, to be that, you know, that's one of the privileges of being an American. Listen, I got no problem. You know what I mean? Like, I'll represent America very proudly abroad. You know what I mean? I got no problem with that. And again, you know, just like any American, we got the right to free speech. We got the right to an opinion. We got the right to all these things. And, you know, I can say what I want to say. You know what I mean? And I can be very critical of my own country, and it is what it is. And I might not agree with many of the things that are going on, but it is the USA. And and I live out here in Mexico, in which there's a rich American culture out here, like it or not. And that's not the point. The point is that I love my country, and I'm always going to love my country, and it's family. There's nothing really I can do much about it. And again, right now, I don't agree. I haven't agreed, with a lot of things going on. But with that said, with all that said, right now, it's not for me, to judge. It's like I can't even control anything. There's nothing I can do about any of it. All I can do, you know what I mean, again, is like let them do what they're gonna do, and let me do what I'm gonna do. And just the fact that I can live abroad, and live my normal life out here and do my normal thing, and then I'm happy. I got nothing to worry about. But the reality is that why do I have to live abroad? Because I cannot live in the USA anymore, And why can I not live in the USA anymore? Well, because the certain lifestyle that I want to live, I used to be able to live that in the USA. I mean, are you kidding me? So many Americans lived a similar lifestyle as me, which is just have a simple business, just do a simple thing, whatever it is. Whether you could be an artist, whatever, and just have a humble lifestyle and live off of that. And you can't do that in the USA anymore. In the USA, you have to become a wage slave, and you have to do things you don't want to do. And you can't really do what you want to do. And to me, it's like that's one of the reasons. It's an economic reason. We're out here. I can create videos. I can do things. I can live a certain lifestyle that again allows me to provide for my family. It allows me to provide a life, and at the end of the day not have to worry about, again, even if I'm working a job in the USA making $100,000 a year, still not enough. We're out here. It's like I really don't got to worry about anything. I can, no matter what happens, I can always make ends meet. You can always figure something out. Whether you guys, help in or help out or not. You guys already know. When I was talking about like asking, when I was talking last week or whatever, when I was asking you guys for help, because of the whole situation that happened with the YouTube demonetization, whatever. At the end of the day, I was really informing you guys, hey, I'm going to go back to work. You know what I mean? Like I got to go work, figure something out until I can get I can get monetized again, and I can continue making money off my channel. But the long story short, it's like out here, if something like that happens, I can go to work. I can get some jobs online. I can teach some English. I can drive some Uber Eats. It's what is it? Some deliveries with Uber Eats or whatever, or any one of these things. There's many things I can do. Just get traditional kind of work, and make enough, just enough to make ends meet. Just to get through the month. Where in the USA, it's like you're so out of luck. If you're just out of a job, that might put you on the street. Which is sad. It's not like that at all here. You know what I mean? And so, of course, things happen out here. I don't want to sugarcoat everything, but what I mean is that just the lifestyle, also the freedoms. The fact that yes, living in a country like Mexico, I might not have all the freedoms. I might not be, as free, as some people might think. Depending on what color of your skin, depending on who you're, what, how, if you're Mexican or a foreigner or whatever, you get more privileges as a foreigner. But the point is that out here, regardless, what I mean, compared to what we live in the USA, when it comes to how the police treat you, how authority treats you, compared to how they treat you here, and how much power they have here over how much power they have over there. That's another reason. Why I can't live there anymore. Again, my parents coming from communism, I've already recognized again the cracks. There's already two major cracks right there. You know what I mean? That the fact that you can not make a living unless you are, relying some way, somehow off the government. Okay. You need to rely, off another entity, so right there, you know what I mean? They force you. Again, that's communism, as far as I know, right? Socialism, whatever. You have to be part of the system. Then had the laws, all those laws and all the restrictions and all that stuff, you know what I mean, and how they enforce them, and how they keep you in line, how they keep everybody in line from stepping out of line, and they give you these fake rights, that, again, depending on, what is it? Depending on the situation, depending on what you can say, what you can't say, what you can do, what you can't do. Um, but at the end of the day, they're always gonna find a way to get you if they want to, and that's no way to live. So it's many things, and you guys have heard me talk about them many times out here. On this channel, the other channel. But this is the reality of it. So, like, to me, it's like I love my country. I really do. I love, 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 love my country. But I feel like my country doesn't love me. In fact, I think that my country, the USA, at this moment, not only doesn't love me, it doesn't love many of its citizens. And right now, it's doing other things, beyond our control. That we don't know how they're going to end, but most of us know they might not end well. All the things that they're doing, all the things that they're supporting, and we'll see. We'll see how it all ends up. Hopefully, I'm wrong. Hopefully, I don't know. You know what I mean? But it's like, right now, it's something that is, I don't know, a little troubling. The fact that, again, look. How about this today? So this 4th of July. So this 4th of July is tomorrow, and it is the Americas. The United States of America's 249th birthday. So that's going to be pretty intense. It's going to be it's going to be, I think, a pretty good 4th of July, yada, 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 whatever. But think about it. Next year, 2026. Imagine how, if you think things are crazy now, imagine how crazy things will be next year. Okay. And the fact that next year is going to be the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. Which, again, in retrospect, a lot of you guys know that no history, that's not that long. 250 years ain't nothing. That's like the other day. And, the fact that, we came out of nothing, we were, 250 years ago, we were literally, nope, just a bunch of colonies, just a bunch of, rebels, fighting off the British Empire. And here we are today, the mighty empire. We are the empire. We're the mightiest of all mighty empires. And we've been the mightiest of all mighty empires for a good majority of that 250 years. Again, think about it. We've been a mighty empire since, let's say, the 50s, 50 going forward. So 75 years. So 75 out of the 250 years, we've been the mega empire. Some people can argue even longer. A lot of people can even argue that, our founding fathers aren't who we think they are, and that we are just an extension of, another empire, the Roman Empire that never died, and so on and so forth. So it is what it is. It's very interesting to see, and, very interesting to, again, be an American, we are, like it or not, what I mean? It's interesting, to be an American, when you, and especially if you travel, I'm sure the more you travel around the world, the more interesting it is from the perspective of, like, damn, it's like, it is almost a two-tier system in many places, as to what an American is considered, as to what everybody else is considered, and the rights that you get, and the passport, what it represents, and everything that backs the USA, no matter what, even right now in the worst and worst of times. Okay, right now the USA is, basically, almost looked at as public enemy number one by the majority of the world because, well, they support, what's going on out there with Israel and stuff like that. So, but still, even right now, it still holds a lot of weight, becoming, just being an American, being no matter where you are on the planet. So, and that's still going to hold true. I don't see that leaving anytime soon. All right, let me read a few comments here. I see a bunch of you guys in the chat. Shout out to you guys. We got Alex, you got Memo, we got ING, Autotech, we got Sticker Hogs, Luz, CQ, Lucy Q. Shout out to you, brother. Yo, yo. Sticker Hog says, yeah, here I have had 5 businesses, even though I poured all my life into them. Only one made it big compared to the others. And thank God I was offered some good funds for it and sold it. I see so many small businesses suffer and go under, and it's so sad. Yeah, now here it's like in Mexico, like in many countries, small businesses thrive. It's just it's small business heaven everywhere, all over the place. It's incredible. Sticker Hawk says they just passed a shitty bill, so it's going to get bad for many. What shitty bill? I don't know. I don't even know what's going on in the USA these days. Oh, that big, beautiful bill. Yeah, what's in that bill? Is that bill gonna be like the Patriot Act or some shit like that, or one of those giant horrible bills? Ay, ay, ay. So yeah, I mean, it's not looking good, guys. You know what I mean? I'm sure you guys already know. And it is what it is. I mean, I don't know. Hold on a second. Trying to find here. But yeah, I mean, it is sad, to see it all, play out or whatever. But yeah, hold on a second. All right, sorry. But yeah, guys, at the end of the day, it's an interesting, what is it, time that we're living in right now, with the USA, because it's like, at least for me, look, I am a super duper proud American, man. I love my country. I love everything about it. Okay. And, it just makes me sad that right now, we're in a place where it's like, it's hard to be proud of to be an American. You know what I mean? Like, again, for not if you're MAGA. Look, right now, if you're MAGA, you're in a different whatever. Okay, but most of us, we're Americans, and so like we want to be proud to be an American, but we can't be because for whatever reason, no matter what you're thinking out there, no matter whatever you think, we're all different. Okay, but it's very difficult. It's hard to find anything to be proud of these days when it comes to being an American. Again, like I said, outside of just the MAGA cult at the moment. I'm not trying to pick on them, just FYI. You know what I mean? They're the only ones that are just proud no matter what. You know what I mean? And they're proud with all the horrible things going on, all these wars, all this stuff, but, for most Americans out there, even the ones that did vote for Trump and, right now you're not happy with, most of us, again, even the lefties, lefty, righty, whatever, I was considered a lefty, for a long time until I wasn't, you know. Remember now most of I'm libertarian, I guess, or whatever, But look, I'm nothing. That's not the point. The point is that at the end of the day, we used to agree to disagree. Now everyone's fighting with each other. Everyone's upset. No one's proud to be an American. In fact, everyone's disgusted for the most part to be an American in one shape or form. And it's not ending. It looks like it might not end well. He knows. Can you imagine like the Civil War? America's Civil War starts on July 4th. Next year. When we get to the 250th anniversary. Ay, ay, ay. That would be an insane movie script, to say the least. So, ING Autotech says, I was wondering, is there any company to haul my stuff that you recommend to move to Mexico? No, I don't know anything like that. I moved out here with a few bags, just a few bucks. So I didn't. I check on Facebook. Check on Facebook and ask other people that have done it, for their, recommendations. Staker Hog says, yeah, I'm having trouble finding transport for my stuff. Yeah, same thing. Okay. So, yes, I don't know anything. I'm sorry. I don't know anything about that stuff. You know what I mean? I would just check on Facebook and talk to other people that have, done that already. I wish I had more information on that, but I don't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My bad. My apologies. But yeah, to me, that's the thing. It's like, it does suck, man, because I don't want to be feeling this way. I don't want to be sad, that I got to defend, my love for America, and the fact that there's so many people that, think I'm a traitor or don't call me American enough or they hate me because I love America too much or whatever it is. And it's like, again, I remember like just like a soldier coming back, from Vietnam, a soldier coming back from war, and then all of a sudden they come back to the USA and they get spat on, they get spit on. It's like that kind of weird, situation, And the reality is that, at least for me, a lot of people, especially with the videos that I make either on this channel or the other channel, a lot of people, man, that, they jump down my throat. Oh, I love your videos. I love everything about you, but I hate when you're so critical of the USA. I hate when I'm like, but He's like, why do you, is it, what they ask me, why do I hate the USA? He's like, I don't hate the USA. I probably love the USA a lot more than you. All right. In fact, I love it so much that I'm so fucking critical of my own country. All right. Because I'm not going to sit here and allow, for things to happen. You might be okay with sitting there, all right, and apologizing, for the horrors, that it does to you, to everyone, to everything about it at the moment, and you might be okay with that, and you might get upset, when somebody brings that to your attention, but I'm not gonna play that game no more. It's an abusive relationship. It really is. For especially those people that blindly protect the USA these days with all the horrible thing that it's doing. Again, I'm not even talking about anything to do with Trump. Forget Trump. Forget him. It has nothing to do with him. Let's go back to Biden. Just the same things are going on. What do I mean? How your government treats you already, okay? How the police treat you, how authority treats you, how the job market is, how the oligarchy, basically runs everything. How you cannot have a small business, how you don't have freedom, how you don't have freedom in your own house, in your own neighborhood, at your own job, and nothing. And people get upset because I'm bringing that up. People get upset because I don't want to live under those conditions anymore. The fuck is wrong with you people, man? I know it's not you guys in the audience. I know, obviously, you guys get the same treatment I do, and that's the thing. It's like that's where I'm at. It's like, what the fuck do you mean, man? I love my country. I love my fucking country. I love the USA. All right, but there's no way in hell I'm gonna fucking sit there and take any abuse from my country. Again, it's like people that have abusive parents or abusive families. Like, hey, I still love you even though you abuse me, but that does not mean that I need to still be there. And so it's the same thing. I mean, so many people that have abusive parents and then they break off from the abusive parents, and then all of a sudden other people are like, oh, but why don't you love your mom? How come you don't love your dad? How come? It's like, bro, do you know all these horrible things that they did to me? They beat me, they this, they that, all these horrible things. That didn't happen with me. All right, I'm just, my family's great, but no, but what I'm saying, this is a real thing. And then how people also like how dare you not sit there and continue taking the abuse even as an adult? It's like, what do you mean? You know what I mean? Like I one time when I was a child, I didn't have a choice. So, but now that I'm an adult, I'm not going to be there anymore. All right. And why do people claim that to you, or reclaim that for you? You know what I mean? Or whatever. Anyway, why do people say that these things? It's because they themselves are in abusive relationships and they themselves then have no way of getting out or whatever. And then they resent the fact that you are getting out. So it's the same thing with the USA. I love my country. I love it. I love it to death. I love America. But I'm not gonna live in a country. I'm not gonna live in the USA while I cannot get a decent job. While my country is doing things I don't agree with. While they're taxing me to death, and then that tax money is going to things I don't agree with. While I can't even go to the corner store without getting harassed by the police. I can't even I can't even go to a Walmart and then walk out without anything in my hands because I didn't want to buy anything, without thinking, oh, are they going to arrest me? Or are they going to start searching me just because I walked out without purchasing something? Wow, people actually shoplift and steal, with bags full of crap right in front of whatever, and then nothing happens to them. And this is like how it's like, criminals get treated, in today's USA, criminals get treated a certain way, with praise and applause and no problems. And then if you're an actual citizen, law-abiding citizen, tax-paying citizen, good citizen, goes to work, goes to school, is in the system. Oh, you're the one that gets rammed in the fucking ass. No Vaseline, no nothing. Like, no. And by the way, it was already like this. It was like this decades ago, years ago. Nothing new here. It's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And so that's the thing, when I get constantly challenged, by not just people on YouTube, literally people, even people that I know, they're in the USA, and they like, well, why do you hate the USA so much? Why, what, da, 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 da. I was like, I don't hate them. In fact, I love the USA more than you do. You know what? No. That cannot be right. That cannot be 100% correct, because in order for you to sit there, take the abuse with the smile, okay? With like, please, what is it, like, beat me, give me more, keep beating me, keep giving me more. No, you definitely gotta love them more. You're right. You're 100% right. I will never love them that much. I will never, ever, ever, ever love them that much. Again, I love my country, but you're right. I could never, ever, love them that much to just sit there and have Stockholm syndrome. I don't know what else to say, and just take the abuse, enjoy the abuse, demand more abuse, get upset when others don't want to get as abused as you do. The fuck kind of mental situation is that? And so that's kind of like where we're at, man. I mean, that's where we're at with a lot of the country right now. And because the thing is, it doesn't matter whether you're on the left or the right. The left is like saying, hey, you need to be abused this way. And the right is like, no, 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 you need to be abused this way. And the people in the middle are like, hey, how about we don't get abused at all? Like, and then both the left and the right, no! How dare you? You know what I mean? So like the left wants to abuse you one way. You guys know. All right. And the right wants to abuse you the other way. It doesn't matter who the hell you are in the chat. If you're left, you already know, the things that you don't want from the right. And if you're on the right, you already know the things that you don't want from the left. And if you're in the middle, you already fucking know what things you don't want from either side. And then you just want to be left the fuck alone and be able to live a fucking normal life, all right? And that's the thing. That's not the world that the USA is these days. It's not the world that we live in these days. And the only way to really achieve the American dream these days, the only way to really achieve, what is it like? The only way to really attain or even simulate the American dream these days as an American is that you have to be in another country. Why? Well, because again, once you travel to other parts of the world, you realize, oh, wait a minute, the rest of the world has the same things or better things than my own country. That's number one. Number two, they've adopted a lot of the things that have made America, America. And what are those things? Freedom. Freedom is one of the main things. Freedom of commerce, freedom of many things. Okay. And that's the thing. And so like when you travel around the world, you're like, hey, wait a minute. These other countries, Indonesia, Mexico, whatever, these countries are more American than America. What the fuck is going on here? And what do I mean by more American than America? Well, because their constitution, their rights, their country has not deteriorated to the point where the U.S. has, where they've, eroded, all that away to non-existence. How about them apples, And so, you come to Mexico and yeah, look, things in Mexico are a mess. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me started, okay? Things are a mess out here. And I talk about it, it has its negatives, its pluses, it is what it is. But I mean, are you kidding me? At the end of the day, when it comes down to like just upholding the basic foundation of the USA, basic foundation that our forefathers put for us, the basic foundation of the Constitution. You're like, yeah, they know how to uphold it. And, you're living out here and you're like, oh, but they got the cartels and they don't listen to government and they're always fighting over there. And like, yeah, exactly. That is how you maintain your fucking freedom. And that's what's happened in the USA. They made everybody so fucking soft that not only can they not fight for their rights anymore, but they don't even know how to. In Mexico, just like in other countries, but I'm talking about Mexico. That's all I know right now. People fight for their fucking rights all the fucking time. All the time. I mean, I watch Mexican channels. In fact, I watch Mexican YouTubers, right? And they talk about this all the time. They're basically like saying, hey, man, look, the reason that you're in this mega city, Guadalajara, and, you don't have these rights and, and the police can do this and the police is because, you know what? You're not fucking standing up for your rights and you guys are fucking big ass pussies and para. Because if you just go to this part of Mexico and that part of Mexico, in your own state, in your own whatever, you don't have to go that far. You can see in this little city over here, in this little community over here, in that town over there, I'm basically the people run the show. There ain't no federal government. There ain't no state government. There ain't even a fucking town government unless the people are running it. There ain't no cartel. There ain't shit. All right, but why? The people gotta fucking defend that shit. And why can they defend it? Well, because they know that there's not going to be any Waco, Texases or Ruby Ridges, happening, to them. All right. No government's going to come out, and take care of these, whatever. They don't have the manpower. They don't got the whatever. They can't, and then that's where the cartel step in. Or, again, if the cartel takes over, the government steps in it, the government takes over, then the cartel step in. Or, the people just take care of it. But look, long story short, it's that in the USA, like many countries, first world countries, I mean, they've neutered the majority of men, the majority of the population, to the point where you're not going to revolution. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you going to fight the empire? No, you're not. No, you're not. You know what I mean? Are you going to give up your fucking Pop-Tarts and your fucking Netflix and no, you're not. You're going to fucking sit there and you're going to fucking take it. And if you're not happy with it, you'll move to Mexico where, you can get, as many Pop-Tarts as you want. And you can go to the movie theater for an affordable price and you can live the same kind of fucking life, but at least be left alone. But don't be thinking that I'm living in another country and that I'm not connected per se, or it's not similar per se. Listen, there's many Mexicans that are, living paycheck to paycheck and having just as much problems as you are in your country, okay? So there's all kinds of levels. There's many, many layers. There's an onion. It's very, very complicated. But look, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? You come out here, all right? And it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Compared, just like an immigrant coming from Syria, moving to the USA, all right? They're India, whatever. They're moving to the USA. It's fucking phenomenal. We're in heaven, in the land of opportunity. Same thing for a lot of you guys moving to Mexico or another third world shithole, third world country, right? Right? Quote unquote. All of a sudden you're in heaven, because it's like, oh wow, here I can just do something simple, make just enough and live my life. What do I want to do every day? Nothing. I just want to tinker with this stuff and make enough for my beer. Something that we wish we could even just do in the USA. If you want to just live like that in the USA, you got to live on the street like a bum. Out here, you don't know. It's not like that at all. Out here, you can have a roof, you can have a house, you can have a, whatever. So, I mean, most of the world, okay? Anyways, real quick. Anyways, shout out to Aqua with the $5 super chat. Again, I'm still monetized on this channel, as you and Aqua know. So thank you, muchi gracias. Thank you very much for that. Very. Aqua says, Jose, it's not the USA, it's a national security states of America. That's right. Or the USSA, right? The United Socialist States of America. So, the USSA. So yeah, 100%. You know it. But anyways, thank you for those USSA dollars. They help. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, I mean, I don't make any fucking bones about it or any of that shit, man. Let's just be honest, man. It is what it is. I mean, look, hey, yeah, the empire sucks. All right, but hey, thank God that we were born in the empire. Thank God we're part of the empire. Look, it's like with the feminism shit. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's all a feminist until World War III starts. As soon as World War III starts, hey, I'm a domestic goddess. Same shit. Right now it's really going to go down. Hey, man, we're Team America. None of us out here are going to go Team Iran, Team China, none of that shit, no matter what we think. All right? It is what it fucking is. All right? Hey, it's just like when you're playing football and you got the guy that just did a triple murder on your team, but that's the guy that's going to win you the Super Bowl. Hey, man, whoever he murdered should not have gotten so mouthy. You know what I mean? We got to win a championship. It is what it is. Hey, and let's not fucking sugarcoat it. All right? It's the same thing. All right? We are the USA, and until defeated, it is what it is. It's just 100%. I mean, I don't know what to say. But again, I'll be on, I'll be American over here. All right. Anyway, shout out to you, Aqua. Thank you very much. Miss Marie Sunshine, people live in fear. Correct. So again, you don't want to live in fear. You can remove yourself from that. Start by turning off the television. But yes, I agree with you. Adam says, I have a question. South Merida compared to North Merida, is there a difference in social class? Yeah, the South is working class and the North is working class. It's just that the South has less money than the North, and the North has more money. And if you want to know more information on moving to Merida, Mexico, you should check out my channel, in which I literally, that's all I do over there. Sorry, Adam, just over there. Over here, we're talking other stuff, things that I can't talk about over there. All right. But yeah, man, again, or if you want to set up a consultation, again, right now, I am crowdfunded 100% by you guys. Since I'm not getting ad revenue, I'm not earning any money on my other channel. That's how I pay all my bills. So a lot of you guys have been helping me out a lot. And we set up a GoFundMe, and we're able to raise a lot of money. You guys have been sending a few bucks here and there, a lot of bucks here and there. So you guys have set up a lot of consultations. So right now, I'm going to take the opportunity that if you want to set up a consultation where I can talk in depth about the city just to you, then please set it up. And at the same time, you'll be helping me out, pay the bills, helping the show continue, and I'll be able to answer your questions and then some. All right. If not, just wait till next Thursday and ask those questions over there. Adam, love you, brother. Shout out to you. But anyways, all humans, neighbors, Oceanside. Shout out to Oceanside. You're with the chat. Lou CQ says, every time I go back, it's gotten worse. Greed, self-absorption, materialism, and consumerism. Even when peeps are nice, it's just for a tip. I can't even imagine going back to the USA. I mean, the thing is because I live so close. I live so close to the USA. I know you, Luce, you're all the way out there in fucking Cambodia and shit. You're, as far away as you can get. But out here, it's not like that. I'm fucking, I'm in the most visited country by Americans. Period. In the story. More Americans live in Mexico than anywhere else, and I happen to live in a very popular area these days for Americans. With that said, yeah, I know out here. I see, that's the thing. I don't miss them because I see them. I encounter them, on a regular basis. And not on a regular basis, but more than I need in order for me to remind myself as to why I don't want to go back. Because it's a lot of them. Especially when they're here on tourism. They just bring all that with them. So it's like they're it's just there. You know what I mean? Like even when family visits, stuff like that. It's like, yeah, when it's like I said, yeah, when family visits, when I got, when I got to encounter people that are visiting out here and they have that mentality, it's like I don't miss it. It's like it's there. You know what I mean? It's like if I was there, minus the expense and the stress. So it's like, ugh. So I get enough of it to the point where it's like I don't miss it. So, the Manic Hispanic says, how's the weather there? Oh, it's a great question. Again, if you want to know exactly how the weather is, you can go to my other channel, type in weather, and I've done videos on the weather, and you can find out exactly what the weather's like, or you can Google the weather, you can find out the yearly weather patterns. It's incredible what you can do with the internet these days. So shout out to the Manic Hispanic. Yeah, no comment, man. Anyways, Oceanside says sometimes bus lines ship to a certain way. I don't know what the bus line. Okay, I'm reading some comments here. Oh, shout out to GSD with the $10 super chat. Oh, coming in strong. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. Thank you. And by the way, we got Cheryl, with the $50 super chat on Cash App. Wow, thank you. Muchas gracias for that. Amazing. And we had somebody else earlier on the other stream give me $20 through PayPal and so on and so forth. And again, we had a few more, donations. We've surpassed the 3,000 wanting to raise, trying to keep this crowdfunded. By the way, trust me, as soon as I get to remonetized again, that's when I'll take all this down. All right. Because yeah, I don't know how this GoFundMe stuff works. I can just leave it up. So I'm just going to leave it up for now. And then once I get remonetized, hopefully soon, again, I'm waiting for my first paycheck. I just want to make sure I'm remonetized and eventually I'll get my check. But once I get over that hurdle, then that's it. I feel comfortable enough. But again, right now we're sitting pretty, we're doing pretty good. Yeah. So thank you guys. I appreciate you guys beyond, more than you can imagine. And I'm glad I'm able to bring you guys so much entertainment value, so much knowledge, on the other channel. And like I said, I'm not trying to pick on any of you guys out there, but literally I've made videos on everything. And they're all in my channel right now. Angie Gray says, yikes, it's 97 degrees in Mérida. Oh yeah, right now it's very hot. It is summer, in the Caribbean, so it's hot. It is very hot out there. It was rainy. It was raining the last few weeks, and oh, shout out to Renato Diaz. Oh, shout out. Thank you, muchas gracias. Thank you, muchas. Thank you. Anyways, what was I saying? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Oh, the weather, yeah. So like the last few weeks, we had rain, and man, the rain helped cool it down. But look, man, right now, by the way, Angie, it's funny you say 97. 97 is nice. That's not that bad. A few months ago, spring is usually the worst. Oh my God, it was like 107. So, we're good. It's nice. Oh, there you go, Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Oh, for sure. We'll use it for date night. Thank you. But yeah, guys, at the end of the day, that's the thing. It's like right now with the USA, you guys have already heard me talk. Shout out to Adrian. Shout out to everyone out there, sticker hogs. But anyways, but as I was saying, you guys have heard me talk about it on this channel, multiple channels. Sorry, not this channel, the other channel before, and other multiple videos, and talked about it multiple times. The fact that, look, I'm rooting. I am on Team USA no matter what, and I am rooting for that team to win the championship, to win. Okay, and it's not like win the war, win anything. No, I want them to be what they used to be. I want them to be, the America that, basically the rest of the world wants America to be. Freedom, spreading love, spreading, that message. Okay, so right now America has a lot to go through, a lot of growing pains, a lot of situations, a lot of everything, and hopefully, it can snap out of it. Hopefully, America will be great again. Hopefully, it will be built back better again, or whatever. But right now, it's still in the process. It's not going to happen anytime soon. A lot more horrible things need to happen, unfortunately. Before things start to get better, because things are not getting better at all by any stretch of the imagination. They're getting worse and worse and worse. So expect more. Again, they've told you already. In the government, they've all told you. Expect more pain. Expect more suffering. Expect to just continue. What is it like, the status quo, and expect more lashings. Expect less food. Expect all that stuff. So it is what it is, and until eventually things get bad enough, when the people say enough is enough and they push back, eventually maybe at that point things will get better. But that's not happening anytime soon. And while that's going on, while the U.S. is resetting itself, because it is what it is. It happens all the time, right? While that's going on, I'm going to be over here. I'm going to be supporting my team from over here. It's a rebuilding year. It's not just a rebuilding year. It's a rebuilding, I don't know how long. Anyone that watches sports, sometimes it is what it is. You got to go. We got to rebuild the team. You got to rebuild to win the championship. So right now, I think the USA, man, we haven't even gotten to the rebuild yet. All right. We haven't even gotten to the rebuild. All right. Right now, it's not good. It's not good. So anyways, we got Renato Diaz again with another $10 super chat. Muchas gracias. Thank you. 100%. I'm going to get that cochinita and all that stuff. So thank you. Muchas gracias. That's right. So that's right. Anyone that's good at any profession can make it anywhere. That's right. I totally agree with you. It's all about just re-establishing your expectations. Meaning, in the USA, when you were a plumber, you needed to charge maybe $25 an hour. But out here in Mexico, you don't need to charge $25 an hour. It might just be $5 an hour or $10 an hour. And that's more than enough. $10 an hour. You know what I mean? Whatever. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. And then you'll that's what I'm saying, is that you got to recalibrate everything. All right? And eventually you'll figure it out. Because it's funny because, like, people have asked me multiple times, and me and family, hey, when are you going to come visit, yada, yada, yada. And obviously, I look into it out of curiosity, and I'm like, I can't do that. You know what I mean? I can live nice. I'm living pretty comfortably out here in Mexico, but let's say I want to plan a trip to the USA. Oh, I'm gonna need like $10,000. I'm gonna have to do a fundraiser and get $10,000 to travel to the USA. And you're like, Jose, you're exaggerating. What are you talking about? Like, no, I mean, I do. Wait, I'm not gonna go to the USA for one day. We're gonna go for what? Like, let's say a week. And for me, I don't even have a driver's license right now in the USA. I got no way to really get around. I don't have a house. I don't have anything. So I would have to rent hotels. I would have to go through Uber. Imagine Ubering everywhere, how expensive that would be in the USA. Food. I mean, think about it. When you start adding it up, I mean, maybe $10,000 is a lot, but still a lot of money. A lot of money. All right. So it's like, oh no, oh no. Right now, let's say I take, look, how about this? When we went to Guadalajara, okay, a week. Okay, we were there for a week, 6 days, something like that, and we spent, I think, a total of like $750, and that's including airfare and Airbnb, which are the two most expensive items. Okay, 5 days, Airbnb, air travel. What is it? Air travel, flight. Back and return flight. So 4 flights. Okay, so 2 flights and 2 flights. So 4 flights, Airbnb. And we ate everything we wanted, drank everything we wanted. We went to all the tourist attractions, went everywhere. It was like $750. All right. I was surprised. All right. And it might be less. I always overestimate and over exaggerate because a lot of times, when I actually do the math, like, again, even when I was, I used to say, oh, we spent $1,000 when Christian broke her foot. And then, long story short, I do the math and I was like, I was like actually less than 500. So same thing, you know what I mean? I'm saying 750, it was probably like 500. Okay? But long story short, yeah, man, I'm telling you. I'm sorry if I keep losing audio. Is it bad? Is it better? Oh, sorry about the audio. Hello. Oh, sorry. Anyway, sorry about that. Sorry. I don't know what happened with the audio. Maybe it might be something else. I think it's the internet. I hope, but hopefully next week the internet will be better. Because I got the Starlink internet, which is great, but it seems to have sometimes it's a little spotty. And so I upgraded my Starlink. Okay, so hopefully by next week it'll be better. Okay, so pardon me, guys. We're working out the kinks. Anyone that's interested in Starlink, let me know. I'll send you a referral link so you can get a free month. Starlink is great. It's amazing. All right, so far. But yeah, so, right now I got like the roaming package on Starlink. So as I got the roaming package, I did research afterwards. I'm like, oh, this is not the best for what I'm trying to do. And so I had to now, I upgraded or downgraded, I guess, to residential. And so now I should be better. So, but anywho's, so yeah, because residential gets more priority, over the roaming. But with the roaming, that's the one my friend got, and he got it for me for my moving as a moving present, as a whatchamacallit, a housewarming present. And so with the because he uses roaming because he goes camping and he does a bunch of stuff. So basically, yeah, that's cool. You get to put the little satellite on top of your end of your car, your motorhome, your whatever. You can go anywhere, camping in the middle of nowhere, and you have internet. And you just got to plug it in to like a little power thing, and that's it. So, yes, my horse is looking. Actually, he's looking at you guys. He's staring at you guys. He's giving you the death stare because he's dead. I'm not dead. Yourself, you bastard. You took my legs off. Hey. Relax, bro. Relax. I didn't take your legs off. They fell off naturally. All right? You're made out of styrofoam. What the fuck are you talking about? You. All right. Anyway, so thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you, Manic Hispanic. Yes, he does have the stink eye. It is what it is. Anyways, Stickerhawk says Jose is having small connection issues. We have 10 gigabyte internet. He's breaking up for me too. Yeah, no, it's not you guys. Trust me, it's on my end. Okay, it's that Starlink stuff. Okay, so like I said, hopefully we can fix that by next week. So it'll be all right. But I really appreciate you guys very much. You guys are freaking awesome, man. Where was I getting at? But you look, at the end of the day with the US, it's all those things. Now, with the US, I can't even visit it if I wanted to. It's so expensive. I don't have a license. Living there it's out of the question. Especially like after receiving medical treatment out here. I've already been through so many medical issues out here, and I've been able to afford every medical emergency. No problem. I literally had a few medical emergencies when I was moving. Again, remember, guys, like I had one thing after the other. Remember, I had to get rabies shots not too long ago. I mean, come on. That's why when I had to thinking about shutting down the channel and I was asking you guys for help, I was like, shit, you know what I mean? Like, that's it. You know what I mean? I'm at tilt. You know what I mean? I was at the fucking, wits end there. Basically. But look, long story short, it's like. Even though the hospital paid for that, thank God, and I have to worry about it because we have free healthcare in Mexico. How crazy is that? Still, these things cost money, man. I still had to get like painkillers. The free government hospital is not going to give you painkillers, okay? I had other medical emergency. I tripped and I fell and I ate fucking ass, you know what I mean? And like that hurt and that sucked, and I wasn't going to go to the hospital for that, and I had to deal with that. You know what I mean? Whatever. Anyways. We're human. We got things going on. And so, like, again, the move, obviously always, how it is, things become more expensive than I see you guys talking about how much a storage container is going to cost. Look, man, I'm sorry. I wish I could help with that. But all I'm trying to get at is that, yeah, you're moving right now and, costs start adding up and things just start getting out of control again. So that was all part of the deal. You guys helped so much, man, and being able to, keep everything going. All right. In fact, gave me a boost, gave us a boost. It was a real big help. Again, especially since we're moving in to the new home and now we get the furniture and this and that. Because look, I know other people out there, have other YouTube channels, they get like government help. I don't know, they're on disability, they get, what is it, a check from the military, for service, or whatever, but there's a lot of people out there. Okay. Other people have other jobs, other people charge like $500, $1,000, just to help you. I don't do any of that. You know what I mean? So, I only make money from advertising and being a clown on TV, on YouTube. That's it. I get money from being a clown. Okay. That's why, I put my hand out, but I don't really put my hand out. I let you guys, just do your thing. And I really appreciate you guys. And I love you guys. And you guys really do help keep the lights on and support the show. But, with that said, for me, I'm just like a lot of you guys out there where you're thinking about moving to Mexico and you need to figure out how you're going to make money and how to whatever. Look, again, real quick, just to, I don't want to talk about my other channel, but it is what it is. We're kind of, it is talking about living out here. I'm the USA and all this other stuff. But look, when you're, go to my website for all kinds of free information. I'm sure you guys know this by now. But anyways, all the way at the top, you see where it says digital nomad jobs. And I got a full list of jobs. So when, again, if you guys would not have sent me any money, I would have been fine because I would have just gone back to work, Like I had some people leaving comments. Oh, why are you asking for money? You should go to work. I'm like, yeah, I know. I mean, I was going to go to work. I told you guys. That's what the live stream was on the other channel a couple of weeks ago for. I was going to tell you guys I'm going to work. I can't make videos. But anyways, long story short, there's jobs. There's things you can do. But any of these jobs, most of these jobs, you cannot earn a living, with these jobs in the USA. And so that's the thing, like the reality is that, there are jobs that you can do online. There are physical jobs that you can also do. Again, please, go to all the way at the top, free resources. All right. I made a whole video on things you can do. So again, you can do physical labor. I don't recommend that because, competing with the Mexican and Mexican wages, not going to be good. Again, just like, you might as well just stay in the USA and work the fields. They get paid pretty good out there. So if you cannot handle that, you might not be able to handle a regular, normal job out here. But you can get a job out here. There are jobs in tech. There are jobs in hospitality. There are tons of jobs. You can work at a call center because you speak English and that's needed. So there's a lot of jobs, traditional jobs you can do. Again, the jobs, the digital nomad jobs you can also do. You can also start a business. There's many things, many options. Okay. So when I do the YouTube stuff, I only started earning money to pay my bills like 2 years ago. But in the previous 5 years, 7 years. Remember, 7 years I've been in Mexico, but the first 5 years, I was not making money. I had to work. I edited videos for people. I did freelance work. Again, I was in LA, so like I have a friend of mine that does audio. I do video, whatever. Anyway, so we worked in the industry, and I could work remote. People send me files. I edit the video, the movie, whatever, send it back to them, get paid, and I charge Mexico prices. How amazing, right? So that's how I earned my living for a very long time. Eventually, once I started making money from YouTube, then, well, that's what I did. Okay. But that's the thing, at the end of the day, people, working, making videos all day, every day, it's a job. You know what I mean? And so that's the thing. And so I can't do both. But anyways, again, because of you guys, I've been able to continue, funding the show and continue going forward. But even if I didn't have that option of the crowdfunding, I mean, I had options. Because why? Because of the same options I've provided for you guys. All right. And sure, it's a job. It's not pretty, but it's a job. They're all, we don't all get the luxury of doing what we want to do unless you want to sacrifice. Again, you guys know my story. I had the ability to become a lawyer, to become a doctor, to become all this shit. But it's like, I don't want to do any of that. I want to just continue having fun. And that's why I became a chef. And for a lot of people in my family, like, oh my God, why'd you throw it all away? I'm like, what do you mean? I've been enjoying my life as crazy as it's been since high school. It's awesome. It's been amazing. It's not the best. I'm not rich like you, whatever. But, I'm rich in life. You're rich in money, but you're also rich in problems, and you're not rich in life. You know what I mean? So it's like things like that. So look, long story short, it's a life I've chosen to live. And when people watch my channel and they want to, follow my path or my route, well, that's what it takes. And it takes a lot of sacrifice. And that sacrifice means that sometimes you can have nice things. But what are the nice things? What would you rather have? A nice brand new Apple Watch? Or would you rather have freedom to just go to the beach on a Tuesday afternoon? Well, some people want the Apple Watch. Some people want the freedom to have a beer at 11 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday and be at the beach. I prefer the freedom. And that comes at the cost that I cannot have an Apple Watch or have a nice car. Whatever. It's fine. I'll get over myself. I've had a nice car. I've had nice things. I prefer the freedom. I prefer the things that, again, I cannot get in the USA anymore. That's why I live in Mexico. Because all these, the American dream, all this American lifestyle that I got promised as an American child growing up in America, they don't exist in America. They just don't. But they exist elsewhere. They definitely exist elsewhere. They're out here. They're 100% guaranteed it's out here. But for a lot of you guys, you guys don't even know what that is, and so that's why it's hard, meaning that it's hard for you to, change your mindset, to in order to now realize what the importance in life is, which is not money. All right. Money's great. It's just a resource. Okay. It's just a thing to help you to get from point A to point B. You got to love what you do. You got to love your life. You got to love all these other things. First, you love yourself. Okay. And that's just the reality of it. You know what I mean? It's just the 100% fact. And so those are the things that, for me, why was the transition to here so much easier than most people? Oh, because I already had a lot of that mindset, man. And I was just looking for simple things like I want to be left alone. I want to make some stupid videos. I want to just live my life. That's it. And I worked already enough. I already slaved enough, working 80 hours a week, for fucking decades, like, nah, man, enough. And, now I still work sometimes 80 hours a week, but it's like, I love what I do. I literally love what I do. I'm working right now. People's like, oh, how can you go hours and hours just doing a live stream? Some people can't even do a 10-minute video. People complain that my videos are too long, and I could easily, get a very long video. Like I remember sometimes I'll go village exploring and I can make 3 videos out of one video and have 3 uploads and be greedy. I was like, no, I don't want to do that. But that's not the video. The video was that, we were out and we visited 3 villages. So I'm going to show you what we did the whole day. And yeah, it was just an hour of video, but some movies are 2 hours. You know, sometimes you're playing a video game for longer than that. Some of you guys are watching Netflix series, you know, longer than that. And I'm showing you the exact thing that we did. And sure, I condensed it down to an hour, hour and a half. We were out there for hours. But you guys at least get a feel for really, you know, as close as you can to what it gets. And that means I have to sacrifice more because, again, I could easily have 3 uploads or more. I was like, nah, I have 1 because I'm making art. That's how I want to present it. This is how I want to edit it. This is how I want to show it. At my detriment. Same thing as these videos. You know, you don't think that if I can sit here and record hours upon hours upon hours, you don't think that I can make all these clips and all these whatever? Of course I can. But that's another thing. That's another word. By the way, I should get on that. You know, at least making the clips, you know, for my long form content. But meaning focusing on that, focusing on quantity instead of quality. You know, and you know, I used to do daily uploads way back in the day. I used to do daily uploads every day. I did a fucking upload, but then I realized, well, that's not, you know, as good as doing 1 a week or 2 a week or 3 a week and making them higher quality. So, I mean, I could go, I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about anymore. But the fact is, oh yeah, the fact that I can be out here, have a small business, whatever that business is, and focus on that, you know, hone my skills with that, you know, live my life, you know, enjoy what I do what I do, you know, like, and I don't have to worry about that. In the USA, I can't do that. In the USA, I need, you know, 1 or 2 jobs just to pay the bills. And if I got free time, maybe I can do some free time stuff, you know, whatever. Most people are too tired and they end up just watching some TV until they pass out and do it all over again and again. So, Luz CQ says being a digital nomad can be tough, but 1,000 times better than a 9 to 5 with a boss breathing down your neck. Exactly. Yeah, it's not easy being a digital nomad. You know, sometimes again, you only probably might only be getting paid $10 an hour. Now that $10 an hour in the USA ain't gonna buy you crap, but $10 an hour here or another country, that's a lot more money. And you're an independent, whatever. You're not, you know, you don't have a steady paycheck. You know, you have to figure out that steady paycheck. You know, you sometimes you're how do I say it? It's like you're a contractor, you know, like you're a freelancer. You know, you gotta go from job to job, and you gotta find those jobs. You know, when I first moved here, I was a freelancer, and you know, I didn't, you know, you know how I earned money? I had to go to places like Craigslist, okay, and literally look at advertisements. You know, people that would put up ads. Hey, I need help editing this video. Hey, we're looking for, you know, people to help edit this, or we're looking for people to help with this, or what, and that's it. And I used to have to apply for all these gigs, jobs, whatever, undercut everybody on pay, you know, on how much I was going to charge, and that's how I would land these jobs. So it's like, it was hard. It was difficult. I had to hunt the jobs, you know, get the jobs, negotiate the jobs, do the jobs, hopefully get paid. Usually, I mean, I usually got paid, you know, but still, you never know. But yeah, long story short, yeah, it's not for everybody. That's why a lot of people just find the comfort, okay, and the comfort in having that job, the comfort in becoming an NPC and not questioning anything, not questioning how things are. In fact, they get mad at you for questioning because, hey, you're gonna fuck it up for everybody. So, yeah, man. So it is what it is. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm just reading some of your comments. You know how expensive medical care is. The Manic Hispanic says, I'd like to send you a hat, but do you have a way to get it to you? Dolphins hat? No, it's okay. I appreciate that. Look, I got a Dolphins hat. Appreciate it. Thank you, though. Baseball cap, football. No, it's okay. I don't have a P.O. box or an address to give away to send to, you know, I'm good. Appreciate it, though. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But if you want, you know, you could, you know, send me a donation and I can go to Amazon and just purchase the hat myself, you know, if you want to do that. You don't have to. You don't have to do anything. Okay. But you know, when people, you know, say, hey, I'm going to go visit Merida. I'm going to go visit your neck of the woods and I want to buy you a beer. I'm like, you can just buy me a beer now, man. You know what I mean? You can just buy me a beer now. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like have a link on my website. Here, I'll show you. You know, buy me a beer, you know, whatever. No, but yeah, that's, I mean, this is the way it is, you know. But why is that? Well, because I'm so busy making videos and doing all this stuff. It's like I don't got time. You know, I don't got time, you know, to do that. And everyone else charges for their time to hang out, you know, for anything, you know. So, but whatever, man. You know, at the end of the day, this is how I make a living. This is how I earn a living. Making videos, doing consultations, selling T-shirts. Well, I don't sell T-shirts right now. I got to get back on that, and so on and so forth. But yeah. And by the way, I appreciate you, Manic Hispanic. Thank you very much for wanting to send me a hat, wanting to send me something. But you know, I've learned the hard way. I can't allow. I don't have. There's no PO box type situation out here, so I can't really, you know, give addresses like that. All right. So thank you, but I appreciate it. Also, it's not like shipping. You're shipping international. It's gonna be expensive because you got to FedEx it or whatever. So it's gonna be like almost $100 in shipping. You know, just to send me a hat. You know, I can just buy a hat on Amazon. You know, for a few bucks. So, but anyways. But I think that's it, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up. I don't know what else to say except I guess sticker hogs. I need to meet up when we get there. Look, man. Again, anyone that wants to meet up. I'm gonna say it, okay? Because you know we're here, we're talking about it. But look, anyone that wants to meet up is just like a personalized consultation, but more expensive because it costs me money to get out to where you're at, and it costs me time, and I don't know who you are. And once I meet you, hey, you might be cool, you might be awesome, you might want to, you know, whatever. But I don't know. I don't know who you are. All right, and so to me, it's like, yeah, you know, how many people want to meet me, so I gotta do certain things like. So again, if someone wants to hang out with me and meet me in person, have some beers, and again, it's like a consultation, but in person, it's expensive. Okay. No, no, of course, no, yeah. Whoever invites me is gonna include the booze, the food, the whatever. But I can buy my own food. My wife makes better food, so I got food, I got alcohol, I got everything here. My time is again. I literally spent not just today, but all I talk about is freedom. My time is the most important thing in my life, period. And so I understand that it's also important to you. So to me, it's like it's very simple, man. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, we can meet, but it's just it's gonna cost money. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to. You know what I mean? But you don't have to pay me for anything. You know, no one has to pay me for a damn thing. You can. They're talking to me for free right now. You're hanging out with me for free right now, and every fucking Thursday. If you want more quality time with me, you hang out on Unleashed. But at the end of the day, it's like if you want me to take time out of my day, you know, it's you know, I can do a video call for 2,500 pesos. You want to meet me in person? It's going to be double that at least. All right, but you know, double that, you know, plus food and drink, and that's it. You know what I mean? And it's going to be over an hour of meeting up. You know, we'll hang out for a couple hours. You know, I'm not just gonna, and I'm not timing it. You know, we're gonna go hang out. You know, you send me, you know, 5,000 pesos. Of course, you know, we'll meet up for beers, for food. We'll hang out till we hang out, till we pass out drunk, whatever, whatever you're up for. Okay. Also, depending on who you are. You know what I mean? You know, it is what it is. But look, long story short, that's how I do it. If I'm in the city doing a video, you guys have seen it before. I'm recording a video. I see a fan. Some of you guys have met me, you know, randomly. Hey, I'll talk to you for a few minutes. You know, hey, what's up? You want to take a picture? You know what? I'll do the whole thing. Okay, but you got to remember, I am not Tom Cruise, so I am not getting paid millions and millions of dollars. Okay, I literally got to work. I got to whatever. So when someone says, hey, I want to hang out with you for a few hours. I'll buy you food and drink. I'm like, man, I can't. I barely have time to eat and drink myself because I'm so busy doing what I'm doing. So you know what I mean? If you want to take me out of my routine, and again, you know, I got to stop working for a few hours. You got to pay me for that time. Otherwise, you know what I mean? Like I can't because I got to make money. You know what I mean? It'd be different if I was rich. You know, if I was you know well enough where I didn't need the money, but I do. And so that's just the reality of it. So, and again, it's not, this is why I provide everything for free. You know, I'm talking to you right now. You know, we're doing all this stuff because the thing is like, I understand. I was there before where I couldn't even afford $5. So I know, but plenty of people can't afford it. You know, others can't. No one's forced. You know, there's a luxury at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So please, I really appreciate you guys. Um, so yeah. But yeah, but that's how it is. You know what I mean? That's just how it works. You know what I mean? Like it's just the reality of it, you know? So, you know, and I really appreciate all of you guys. I love all of you guys. Are you kidding me? You guys have been so instrumental. And you know, me doing what I do for a living, you know, me being able to continue making videos and content and entertaining you guys and educating you guys and showing you guys and all that stuff. But you know, we all got to help each other out here. And so that's all it is. You know what I mean? So like it's not fair, you know, to anyone or everyone else, you know, and it's just it is what it is. So, you know, I go out of my way and I really try to help everyone. This is why I do everything for free. So, you know, there's a few things that I had to charge for. This is one of those things that I have to charge for. I have to. I just have to. For my own peace of mind. All right. I've been doing this for 7 years already. You know how many guys, you know how many of you guys have met already? You know, the only way I can get out of the house is if I charge. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? That's it. It's as simple as that. Again, so I provide everything for free. You know, so I don't have to charge. I don't have to ask. I don't have to be in this position. Okay? I don't have to rely on any of this stuff. Okay? I can just rely on making my dumb videos and you watching a few ads, and that's it. We're good to go. So you're happy. I'm happy. We're all happy. Okay? But this is the way it is. You know what I mean? Like, you know, for me, you know, there's no, I'm sorry, I don't know, it's just weird, man, but it's just, it's hard to, it's really, it is hard to understand unless you're in my position. That's the only thing I can say. It's the only thing I can say. Um, so, and it's weird because especially like with the videos that I do, you guys, you know, remember, it's like you guys all know me. I don't know any of you guys. But by the way, speaking of that, I don't want to keep going too because I feel like, hey, wait a minute, I've already said all this before, and I have. In fact, you go to my, you know, Unleashed, all right there. You just go to the past live streams, and I actually did a whole video on it. Look right there. Look, my life as an A to Z list. My life as a Z list celebrity. All right, I'm not an A list. I'm not B list. I'm Z list. All right, I'm even surprised I'm on that list. All right, but that's what I am, and yet it's hard to manage, man. It's hard to manage. All right, it really is, and so you know, it is what it is, though. So please understand, all right? And like I said, I did a whole video. I talked over an hour and a half on that. It's not easy. I think the Manic Hispanic says, I really like your e-bike videos driving around town. Awesome, awesome. I love making them for you guys. Thank you. Manic Hispanic says, my wife is making chicken mole and you need a margarita. Awesome. So, you know, I don't like margaritas too much, but I do need a drink. I'll drink some coffee, all right? I'll be a good boy. All right. Mole is amazing. I love mole. I love mole too. Let me see. Your website has a lot of info. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks, Bummer, Bill. Thank you. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you. That's right. This is the Down to No Bullshit channel. Yeah, I mean, I'm a no bullshit kind of guy. I even do this on the Mexico channel. I just try to keep it PG over there. And over there, I got to keep the gloves off because not everybody can handle me. But over here, I'm sorry. Over here, this is me. If you meet me, this is what you're going to meet. This guy right here. That's okay. And for some people, you guys love me. Some people meet me and like, fuck, I don't want to meet this guy. This guy's a fucking asshole. Listen, man, there's a reason I was a chef. There's a reason I live my life. Again, I love you guys. I love everything, but yeah, I'm sorry. I love my peace of mind a lot more. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like I said, you know, I've mentioned it to you many guys. You know what I mean? Many times before. I don't even take shit from my own mom or my own family. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know who the fuck you are. All right. I love you guys, but come on. You know what I mean? Give me a break here. Yeah. You know? So, but anyways, but yeah, I mean, guys, you have no idea how humbling it is and how happy it makes me that, you know, you guys have been able to help me out, you know, with the GoFundMe. You guys have been able to help me out with, the other, with sending me money through Cash App, PayPal, crowdfunded me, allowed to keep the lights on, want me to continue doing this insanity. We got the kitchen almost ready. It's taking longer than we thought, but I can't wait. Can't wait to start making videos for you guys again. And we're going to keep it short form. So what I'm going to be doing over there on the channel is that we're going to be doing short form videos, short form cooking videos. We're going to keep them fun, lighthearted, entertaining. So we're gonna go down that route, and then we're gonna go back to doing the cooking live streams, but we're not gonna do them all the time. We're gonna just do them periodically, and we'll see how we, figure that out. Right? But expect the unexpected. All right, expect a lot of fun. Expect a lot of enjoyment. Go check out the channel if you like cooking, you like food, you like me. Go check it out. Go subscribe. Go get ready for when we come back real soon. So. Jose, a sticker says, Jose, he goes, is being a chef not paying good over there? Being a chef doesn't pay good anywhere. Sorry to break it to you. So it's definitely not going to pay good over here. So no, I learned that the hard way. Being a chef, being a cook pays shit. But you get a lot of benefits, a lot of freedoms. You get to work, under the influence of drugs and alcohol. You are in a very masculine environment most of the time. It's fun, it's entertaining. You get free food most of the time. It's great, but you don't get paid shit. But you get all these other benefits. You get to live like a pirate, So the same thing out here, only way less pay. And in order for you to get paid and be a chef, I was like, I'm too old for this shit, bro. I've already put in I'm good. I'd rather just start my own business, Which again, just stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned, okay? We're working on a bunch of shit out here, so you'll see. But anyways, I really hope you guys appreciate. Understand the whole, meeting you guys in person and all that stuff. Again, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, but yeah. Unless you're one of those out there that send like a massive donation. How about this? If you guys sent a massive donation and you want to meet me, yeah, no problem. I owe it to you, okay, as a least, okay. But other than that, you know what I mean? Like, come on now, come on, man. What are we doing here? You know what I mean? So, anyways, guys. Time for me to go. Time for me to get out of here. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And you already know the deal. We're here every single Thursday. Okay, we go live in the afternoons. I'm going to see if I can start making more content besides the live streams. But hey, at least we got the live streams. Those are fun. We got the cooking content coming up soon. We got the videos on the other channel, constantly, whatever, making their thing. And again, I appreciate you guys, and I love you guys for all the love and support. Man, you have no idea. Now more than ever, how much I needed it, because it's not even about the money, man. Just the fact that you guys, were there showing all the love and support for me to stick around, to continue talking my talk, doing my thing. And it really, really is very humbling and really appreciative, and also helps me combat, all the haters out there, because, we got a lot of haters out there, and, I'm pretty good at, bouncing them off. But now, more than ever, now with all the ammunition that you guys have given me to keep the lights on, forget about it. Forget about it. You know what I mean? You know how much inspiration, motivation, how much that's inflated me, to continue doing what I do, and then some. A lot. Okay, so you guys, again, we're building out here something together, not just on this channel, but all the channels, everything we're doing here. And I really love you guys. I really appreciate you guys. And as Sticker Hog says, told you we're going to need 5K. Hey, look, man. Again, it's very easy for you guys. Very easy for you guys, to make it to 5K, okay? You guys can prove me wrong. I only wanted 2,000, okay? And I was wrong, all right? And, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? If you guys, want to continue proving me wrong, I'm more than happy to be proven wrong, as you guys already know, not just on this, but on many things, all right? I love a challenge. I love the debate, talk, whatever. Again, please, help me get to that 5K. You can definitely do it, okay? So that'd be amazing. We're going to celebrate the 4th of July this weekend, and it is what it is. Oceanside said, do a group meetup. Long time ago, I used to do those group meetups. Man, that's also too much. That's also whatever. But you know what? Maybe I might be inclined to do something like that in the future. Maybe for like a special event. Maybe we'll do something. Maybe we'll figure it out. But one thing I've learned the hard way from making YouTube, privacy, man. You know, I gotta maintain a safe distance away from my, work and home, and that's it. But yeah, but at the end of the day, in the future, look, one of the ways that I meet a lot of you guys these days, believe it or not, as you guys know, on my other channel, I do charity work. Okay, so one of the great ways in which you guys can meet me randomly and spend time with me, if you want to, is go do some of that charity work with me. I'm not there all the time, but I'm there. I'm there enough that you can probably, meet me there, and that's one of those things you can do. So that's the thing. It's not like I make it easy for you guys. You guys want to meet me? Great. Send me some money. Oh, you don't want to send me money? Great. Go do some charity work. Great. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you want to meet up? Set up the meet. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, no. So it's like, that's the thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, you got to help me help you. And at the end of the day, it's not free, man. Nothing in life is free. I already give enough bullshit for free, a lot of information for free. It's time for you guys to step up to the plate, especially if you want something from me. All right, literally me. You want me? Like I said, you got to do something. Help the kids, help me. Whatever. All right, something. All right, so it is what it is. So, but yeah, look, maybe one day, in the future, I might do a meetup. Okay, so don't what is it? Don't put that off the table. I used to do them before, but I had to stop doing them because I got a little too crazy. But with that said, I might put something together in the future. Not necessarily, a meetup, I'll be there, but it might be something else. Maybe we'll do like a charity event for the kids. We'll figure it out. Something easy. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll do something where, require you guys to, pay $25 for not for me, for the kids. Hey, you got to put like a $25 donation for the kids, to join the meetup. So we'll figure it out. Okay. So, but anyways, all right, guys, we got to get out of here. See, it's funny, sticker hogs. You say you don't celebrate the 4th anymore, but for me, see, I don't look at it that way. Right now, the way I look at it, oh, sorry. The way I look at it right now, it's more like I do gotta celebrate. I have freedom to celebrate. I'm an American, and I'm celebrating freedom that I have in Mexico as an American. So it is what it is. So that's what I celebrate now. That's how I celebrate. But when I was in the USA, it was very difficult for me to celebrate the 4th. Out here, it's a lot easier for me to celebrate the 4th because, well, I actually do have that freedom for me to celebrate, and it is what it is. And at the end of the day, we cannot forget our founding fathers in the USA did lay the groundwork so that other countries, including Mexico, were able to set their own foundation for their own constitution, for their own freedom, for their own sovereignty. All right. And so, at the end of the day, and while in the USA, it was very difficult for me to celebrate 4th of July. I totally get it. Sticker hogs. But out here, nah, man, because it's the opposite. You know what I mean? I celebrate what it represents, what is represented, what it will represent no matter what happens, and that how other countries have benefited from that, and how we've all benefited from that. So again, at the end of the day, the idea of freedom, when the founding fathers, 1776, they just implanted that idea in people's brains. And again, I don't know if you know the history, but right after that, the French Revolution, and eventually the Mexican Revolution, and I could go on, and all these other revolutions, and this is where we got us to where we are today. So at the very least, you got to celebrate that. And again, I know you don't have that freedom anymore in the USA, but that freedom has been exported, just like rock and roll, Coca-Cola, and hamburgers, okay, all over the world. So it is what it is. Oh, look at that, we got Manic Hispanic with the $20 super chat. Oh man, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Look at that. You don't want me to go anywhere, and I understand that, and I get it. That's why we're gonna hang out for a few more minutes. In fact, we'll smoke them while we got them. Let's play a little bit of everyone's favorite song.
America, great again.
That's right. Thank you, Manic Hispanic. Love you, bro. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit harsh sometimes. It is what it is, bro. I am who I am, man. Yeah, I love everybody, man. Even my fucking haters, man. Even people that fucking despise me, I fucking love. No, I seriously, I mean that, man. They might not love me. They might hate my fucking guts, but I love everybody. Truly. All right, and I love you more, and I love all you guys even more that do challenge me and do talk to me, and you know, we can roll with the punches here. And again, I appreciate you guys, and I love you guys. And Manic is Panic, that $20 is you know, $20 closer to that $5,000 that we got to get to. Which, by the way, we already got to that $5,000, but we had to spend a lot of that money. So, you know, we're really sitting at $2,500 right now.
And nobody builds walls better than me, believe me.
But hey, at the end of the day, you know, we've already, you know, we're doing great, man, and I love you guys and appreciate you guys. So thank you.
And we will
Take the video off. You don't like that video?
again.
Well, you know what? I'll do that. How about that? I'll do that only because you sent me the $20, right? So that's the least I can do. We'll play
It's your birthday.
We'll play this song since I love this song very much. This song dedicated to the Manic Hispanic.
I'm not fucking leaving.
That's right. I'm not fucking leaving. That's right.
The show goes on.
That's right. That's right.
This is my home.
That's right.
You need a fucking
Wrecking ball to get me out of here.
They're gonna need to send in the National Guard or fucking SWAT team.
That's right.
No way! That's a scam.
Picone. Anyways, but yeah, look, guys, look, a little, you know, a little piece of Manic Hispanic. Please do not let a single person, okay? Do not let a single person, whether it's Trump or Biden or whoever the fuck, you know, dictate your behavior or your feelings or anything like that. I am not a fan of what is going on over there right now. That is why I play that song. I'm not going to play it for you right now just out of respect, since you sent me the $20 is the least I could do. But I love that song, and a lot of people on the channel love that song. And the reason I play it is not because we love Trump. It has nothing to do with fucking Trump. It's the opposite. It's because of the idiocracy of what it is and what it's become, and like really, you know, just basically it encompasses a lot of everything that I talk about on this fucking channel, and the way that a lot of us fucking feel, and how insane really everything is. And you know, that's what that song, and at least to me, that's what it represents more than anything else. The ridiculousnesses of really what it is. And that's all it is. You know what I mean? That's really why I play that song. And I love that fucking song. And, you know, but whatever. You know, it is what it is. So I totally understand. You know, some people can get upset, you know, by certain images or certain things. And, you know, I don't want to upset anyone that made me happy. It's the least I could do. I'll wait at least a week for that. So shout out to you, Manic Hispanic. And, but yeah, but the thing is, it's like, you know, again, like I've been trying to tell you guys on this show, and apparently it's not penetrating to everybody out there. But, you know, again, the reality is that they're all on the same team. I'm sorry to break it to you. You know what I mean? Like, Trump is no better than anyone else that would have been in there. There's nobody that would have been better. They're all equally horrible or probably worse. Okay? My estimation, you know, when I was, you know, before Trump got elected or anything like that, I knew I knew all this was going to happen. And why did I know everything was going to happen this way? It was all because the previous president, Biden, set the table to create this environment. And Trump, before that, set the environment for that. And before that, Obama did that, and yada, yada, yada. And again, you can go back, you know, all the way through, you know, Bush, Clinton, etc., etc., etc. So look, the reality is that each one of these people are put in power, okay, basically to, you know, move the pendulum one way or the other, move the country one way or the other, and it has nothing to do with any, you know, what you think at all. So, you know, back when Trump was elected the first time around, you know, they really wanted to continue taking it all the way to the right. You know, meaning they wanted to bring it to where we are now. They wanted to do what they're doing now. But 4 years ago, it was too early for that. You know, most of the country was not ready for that shit. Things did not get bad enough. So what did they do? They brought in Biden. But why did they bring in Biden? Well, so that he can open the gates, so he can allow all the immigrants, so he can allow all these things to happen. That would get the Americans so upset, so fucking upset, that they would bring in Trump in a landslide. So that when Trump would come in a landslide, well, what the fuck was Trump gonna do? Oh, well, he's gonna bring law and order, right? All these Democrats, they put all these criminals on the streets. So now now we're gonna bring the cops into your fucking house just to make sure we don't got criminals in your house. You can't even trust yourself. I mean, So look, long story short, everything they had to give you the problem so they can give you the solution. Okay, so that's all. I'm a fucking immigrant. I'm not anti-immigrant. I'm not pro deportation. I'm not pro any of this shit. You know what I mean? I'm American. Damn it! The whole idea that Trump again, this is something that they wanted to do. I don't know what, but anyways, the whole idea. Let me just put this fucking little thing in your brain real quick, right? But the whole idea that he put he passed. I think it's passed. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it is passed. That Trump passed the what you call it, no citizenship if you're born in the USA thing. The birthright citizenship. How fucking insane is that? I get it if that were to happen in another country, but in America, like that's what the whole foundation of the fucking country is. The birthright citizenship thing, and he took that away. And you're like, oh, well, wait a minute. You know what I mean? Like, oh, blah, 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 I get all the leftist theory shit. But you know what really why that is? Think about it. Think about it real quick. We're about to go to World War III, right? You ask a typical American-born citizen, American, you, me, all you guys, hey, go to war. You're going to say no. Fuck no. All right? You're not going to defend Ukraine. You're not going to fucking defend Palestine or fucking Iran. You're not going to do any of that shit. Okay? You don't want to go to war. All right, no matter how you feel, okay, and but you know who's going to go to war? A bunch of immigrants that now have no way to get citizenship unless they sign up for the military. So we just got like a good 10 million soldiers walking through those fucking doors. And who are they deporting? They're not deporting the bad hombres that are going to go into the military or else. No, not those guys. We need those guys out there eventually. No, who are they deporting? You already know who they're deporting. The good hombres, the family guys. What? Look at everything that's going on now. Look at all the riots in the USA. It's always something. This time, it's immigration. Like a lot of this stuff I predicted. Okay, not just me, other people predicted. And long story short, whoever's in power is just to push a narrative one way or the other. So the only way that people were going to allow not only Trump to come into power, but for him to push these things, okay? Like, hey, we got to crack down on immigration. We got to deport these fuckers. Hey, we got to, crack down on whatever, all the shit that he's doing. Which he hasn't done anything. He's done the complete opposite. He's done, you already know, you know out there. Okay? His own supporters are going after him. Right? But it's already too late. And that's the same thing. And so he's going to do whatever the fuck he's going to do for 4 years. And it's going to bring the American people to the brink again. Right? And once they get to the brink, okay, then they're going to, you guys are going to elect, right? Select. They're going to select it for you. But you're going to elect, they're going to make you think like you elected somebody. So anyways, you're going to select somebody for you. Who's that going to be? It's going to be someone that's going to be on the complete opposite end of Trump, which is probably going to be a Democrat, a liberal of some sort. Don't you think? And then they're going to build America great again, they're going to bring it back to the other fucking, and while you guys are all distracted going back and forth and back and forth and back, they're fucking doing whatever the fuck they want all over the world. You already know what they're doing. You watch the channel, right? You watch the internet. At this point, you can't hide it anymore. So, I mean, that's kind of like where we're at, man. That's really where we're at. Hopefully, is the audio okay? Hopefully, the audio is not breaking up. So, but that's the thing, man. The reality is that, right now, things are moving the other direction. And right now, things are moving into the right. They are the right. That's it. And so, like right now, where it's going to come with whatever that brings. The USA is a very conservative founding country, meaning the foundation of the USA, the republic for which it stands, okay, it's very conservative. A lot of conservative, originators to our, believe it or not, I know, very liberal, I know, but conservative, conservative values, conservative country. The thing is that the people are very liberal. And so thus it's been a balance, a healthy balance, throughout the majority of the country, meaning that it's a pretty conservative government. Again, small government, all the conservative government shit, and a very liberal people. Been pretty good. Mexico, look, I'll give you an example. Mexico is the complete opposite. Mexico is a very liberal country. Liberal foundation, meaning their fucking constitution is almost borderline communist. But the people are so fucking conservative that there's a healthy balance, and it never goes the other way. It just always stays. So that's the thing. Right now, I feel like there's a big imbalance in the USA, and the imbalance is coming because most people don't know even who they are anymore, or what they stand for, or what the country's supposed to stand for, or whatever. You know what I mean? And no family values. I could go on and on. There's so much destruction of the actual foundation structure of what the U.S. is. I got a lot of liberal friends, very gay, and a lot of them don't agree with the agenda. They hate Trump. Okay, but they don't agree with the LGBTQWXYZ. They're just, hey, we just wanted to be fucking gay and left alone. And I can go on. I was liberal, back in the 90s, I was anti-government, right? Very liberal, listen to all kinds of, music that would dictate a certain behavior, a lot of like the 90s, right? And, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? These days, I got the same exact thinking. Maybe it's ingrained even further, but now I would be considered extremely conservative, or even, yeah, again, I am, I guess libertarian. I don't fucking know, but you know what I mean. It's like it doesn't even make any sense. I mean, I thought I was liberal, but it depends on who I talk to. Depends on what they think of me, and it all goes down to like, hey, are you on my team? Do you support this guy? Do you support that guy? No, I don't support anybody. I don't support nothing. Fuck them all. They're all pieces of shit. They're all on the same fucking team. Have you not seen the pictures? I got friends that are extremely conservative, right? And Obama. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Fucking Trump, right? Trump hates Obama, hates Hillary, hates all these motherfuckers, right? And I don't know who the fuck passed away. I think it was Jimmy Carter. One of these motherfuckers, passed away. And they were all at the funeral together, and it's like they were all buddies. They were all hanging out. It's like, what do you? I thought you guys were all supposed to fucking hate each other. What the fuck, you guys being all chummy? And it's like, I don't know how much evidence do you need, guys. I mean, how much more do you need? And not everybody sees it. I get it. I understand it. I'm sympathetic to it. I, it's just like, it's just like respecting. It's like respect. I'm just killing a fly that's I'm sympathetic. To a lot of people. Again, like it's like being overly fanatical religious person. Again, I love my country. I love my country, but I can't support this fucking clown show. No, I don't give a fuck who's in power. You know what I mean? So that's the way I see it. You know what I mean? And it might not be the way everybody sees it, but again, that's why I just want to live here. Because look, out here in Mexico, it's the same shit. It's not like it's not like they know what the fuck they're doing. It's the government is not controlled by the people. It's controlled by other entities. It's about the cartel. It's the CIA. Other entities, whatever the fuck. They're fighting for power, all this other shit. But at least here, the government doesn't have the power, to really fuck with the people too much. So it's like, what? That's fine. I don't go fuck what they do. Let the government be government. Let them fight with each other. Let them do whatever. As long as it's not really affecting me on a day to day, I'm good to go. But in the USA, it does affect me on a day to day. It affects me here, but to a very less degree. But imagine living in the USA. You live there. How much does it fucking affect you? Doesn't matter who the fuck's in power. So, and it just keeps getting worse. And people keep believing it, thinking things are going to change. and they're not. You got to make them change. You got to do the change, and nobody's doing the change. I've already talked about it many times before. Nobody's going to do that change. Nobody, you know. So, when it all boils down to it, I support Team America. Same as all of you guys. If it's fucking World War III, none of you guys are going to be fucking supporting China or Russia or Iran. I don't give a fuck. All right? It's just not going to happen. You know why? Because it's off with your head. That's it. It's as simple as that. So, even if you're on the other side, okay, you're like, okay, I'm going to fucking go for the, okay, go ahead, go over there, see how easy that's going to be. See how they're going to fucking treat you over there. You're the enemy now going over there. Come on, man. Don't get me started. So that's the thing. It's like, but it's not even about that. We're not even talking about it. I'm just saying how it is now. But the reality is that if people want that change, yeah, you gotta go fucking get it, demand it, force it. Is that gonna happen? No. I don't see it happening. Not by any stretch of the fucking imagination. No way, Jose. No way. Things have not gotten bad enough for that even to become a thing yet. All right, so. And I think that's it, guys. So let me see. I think that's it. That's it. All right. I'll read a few comments. You guys are just talking to yourselves about how much you hate Trump. I get it. I understand it. I hate everybody. So it's fine. Whatever. So, all right, guys. With all that being said, I think I'm going to wrap it up. It's time to get the fuck out of here. And I'm going to leave you guys with this song. Let's what is it? Get a little hype. Leave on a good note, on a positive note. I love this song. And look, this song is simply, I know they're just talking about Bitcoin, but this can be said about anything. Okay? And also, again, take this with a grain of salt. All right? Some people choose to diversify and others choose not to diversify. I'm not talking about investments, I'm talking about life. So.
Going all in on something must take a lot of conviction.
How many chairs are you sitting on right now?
How many chairs are you sitting on right now? How many chairs are you sitting on right now?
One.
Are you all in on the chair? You put on one pair of glasses, you've got one pair of AirPods, you're looking at me through one screen. That's a one microphone. Like, you trust it? Is that conviction? Is that conviction? How many chairs are you sitting on right now?
One.
Are you all in on the chair?
One.
Are you all in on your country? Are you all in
How many chairs are you
on your
sitting
politics?
on right
Are you all in on your, or not? Are you more diverse? Are you more diversified with your thoughts?
If you're a rational individual, when you use knives, do you have copper knives, wooden knives, steel knives, aluminum knives, rubber band knives?
The fuck are you talking
diamond
about,
knives,
Michael
because
Saylor?
You're afraid to commit to the right knife? It's a tool. Seems kind of scary. Why don't you diversify? Why don't you use 10 microphones? The point really is, things in your life, did you drive in 10 cars at the same time or one car at one time? Do you drive down one street? Aren't you afraid that you're driving down one street? Do you take a different way? So my point really is, how many chairs are you sitting on right now?
And by the way, this guy's a fucking billionaire.
One.
All right?
One.
Yeah, that's right.
Are you all in on the chair?
One.
As you guys know,
One.
many times you do need a backup. You should
How
not
many chairs are you sitting
always
on right
go
now?
all in on everything. There are certain things in which you go all in on and other things you don't. And hopefully you guys understand that. I think you guys can. Hopefully you guys heard that and it wasn't too loud. But there are certain things in life in which you go all in on and other things in which you do need to diversify in. Other things that you do need, to take it. Again, you need to have backups and all that other stuff. And so, there's all part of that right now too. So it is what it is. All right. So right now, any one of you guys that are thinking about moving to Mexico, that's your backup. If you're just one chair, if you're just thinking of one thing, you would never leave the USA and you stick it out no matter what. But you guys are smart. You're diversifying. You're like, all right, let me see what else is out there. and so on and so forth. So there's many things. Do that with many other things. Do that with everything. Not everything. Again, there's a few moments. Hopefully you guys should know what I mean. When those moments are. Hopefully you guys know when those moments are. But there are a few moments in which you need to be decisive, and you need to just be confident in that one choice, one decision, and that kind of shit. But at the end of the day, you need to be able to think, all right? And you need to be able to think for yourself and not have somebody else just implant thoughts into your own mind, all right? Sticker Hawk says, Jose, that is not true anymore. You are not guaranteed citizenship anymore. If you sign up for military service, that's no longer in effect. Sticker Hawks, come on now. Are you kidding me? I know that already, but now, first of all, again, they need to provide the problem before they can provide the solution. So what they'll do is that now, since people cannot get, again, they cannot get citizenship by military service. Well, they were just doing it through birthright, but now they can't get it through birthright. So, well, guess what? We're going to World War III, so we can definitely rush that, getting citizenship back for service real motherfucking quick. And they can, and they will. Mark my words. They will do that. Okay, so I know what you're saying. Trust me, I know. But it's coming, and even if it's not immediate, it doesn't. I would assume it would be pretty quick when they bring it back. But even if it's not immediate, it does not motherfucking matter. People will still go and fight for the USA and fight for the ideals of freedom, because they don't want to go back to Somalia or wherever the fuck they're from. And whether or not they get citizenship, they know what they're fighting for: the empire and the freedom and da 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 da. And just the promise of citizenship is enough for many people. So, I mean, listen, man, at the end of the day, it's coming. And that's part of the whole thing. That's why they need to take away the birthright citizenship, so that they're forcing all those immigrants to do something. You know what I mean? Like I said. So, yeah, no, it's, I'm telling you, you'll see. You'll see. It's, it will be interesting, okay, to see it all play out. But, a lot of what I thought was going to play out has been playing out. So, you'll see. You'll see. You know what I mean? They're coming knocking door to door looking for immigrants, all your homes, already taking away all your rights when it comes to privacy of your home. They'll be able to search your home without a warrant, looking for immigrants. So, and I can go on and on. Anyway, we've already been on going on and on. In fact, it's already been close to 2 hours. So we're going to wrap this bad boy up. I think, you guys, thank you so much, for hanging out with me today. Thank you so much for, again, all the donations, all the help, you guys have been sending. Thank you so much. Very humbling, very appreciative. Love you guys. And I think that's it, guys. We're going to just wrap this up. I don't know what other song can we play. But again, yeah, just to go back, we're not going anywhere, right? You just finish it up with this. And that's it. I love you guys.
I'm not fucking leaving.
You know what? I'm not leaving.
I'm not fucking leaving. The show goes on. This is my home. They're gonna need a fucking wrecking ball to take me out of here. They're gonna need to send in the National Guard of fucking SWAT team, 'cause I ain't going nowhere. That's a scam. Be connected. That's a scam. What am I gonna do?
Hey, guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another live stream. Back to another live stream. Back
100 times?
to another live stream.
200 times? 500 times?
Probably.
Who is is Jose Arteaga.
Jose Arteaga is a YouTube content creator with several channels focusing on different themes.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Thing sucks.
His main channels include travel vlogs and lifestyle content. On his travel channel, Jose Arteaga Travels.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
Additionally, he runs a cooking channel and engages in other personal projects that highlight his diverse interests and expertise. Projects and expertise. Projects and expertise. Projects, project, projects, project, projects, project, projects, project, 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 project.